Hey all, greetings. So today I just wanted to talk about something kind of basic, and what I wanted to talk about is who determines and who validates who is intelligent and who is not. Who meets the standard, who does not meet the standard. Who is inefficient, who is not efficient. Who is disabled or remedial, and who is disabled, who is not disabled or remedial. Who determines that? Because our system is extremely flawed, and the labeling of children especially has to stop, because it is my opinion and my belief that a lot of the children that are actually complete geniuses are labeled as remedial or lesser than, based on a system that how am I going to say this? Based on a system that influences, rewards, and pushes people to only be one way, to work with one side of the brain. I believe it's more so left-sided brain, which is the analytical part. I'm more balanced now, but anyways, it's not about me. This is a picture of artificial intelligence, which I oppose. It's Plato. And interestingly enough, a lot of these so-called philosophers that have been made as like some kind of a celebrity, better than, esteemed, better than all the peasants, better than all the low-class people that have been put into a slave system that they did not consent to. I don't care what anybody says. If a person is not given informed consent, informed is different than consent. If there are a certain group of people that are pushed into slavery, servitude, and work debtory, it's an unfair system. So I'm just using Plato as an example. Not that he didn't have a lot of good, if he even existed, because we don't know anything at this point. But Plato had a lot to, the so-called Plato had a lot to add to society, Socrates and all that. But if you guys notice, the people that are elevated and idol worship often come from very elite, extremely wealthy families. And, no shade to anyone, but it's just something that you should wonder about and question. I happen to think Freddie Mercury was a genius, and he came from an elite family. Pink Floyd. My point here is, who gets to determine who is intelligent, who is better than, who is more efficient, who is more genius? Just because someone can figure out a chemistry, what is it called? A chemistry puzzle, a chemistry formula, and another person is very good in another area of life, it really is based a lot in duality. So that's all I'm saying. So this is just from Gematrinator. More than likely this was from Zachary K. Hubbard, which I absolutely love him. he decodes everything. In my opinion, he's a genius. And actually, I'm going to start watching him more again. Even though it's diabolical and negative, guess what? The 1%ers that are running this world, satanic, icky, repugnant filth, they do everything by gematria. And they are not positive people. I say that loosely. So here we've got sacred geometry, which I absolutely love. I have loved sacred geometry since I was in high school, even when I didn't understand what it was. It's basically woven through everything in life, everything. There's Napoleon Hill. I have high regards for him. Again, who determines who is intelligent, who is a genius, and who's not? Who gets to validate? It's a question of the day. In my opinion, this is an amazing book. I'm going to repurchase it because sometimes I get lazy. And I've moved a lot. Another book that I absolutely love, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. The only issue I had with this book was that it's like, it's worded in Old English, like very old English. So there were times that I really had to think about what was said. Again, my man here, Zachary K. Hubbard, in my opinion, and it's not validation, it's just my opinion, Zachary K. Hubbard is one of the geniuses of our time right now. And of course, he's always demonized. One of his books, recommend getting this. It's on Amazon right now. Let's see how long they allow it to prosper. And again, people with any type of intelligence or ability to see through the codes are always demonized because we're living in a demonic system. We are living in a grid that is tightly woven, and the minute you go outside of that binary code, you are an enemy. Robert Scheinfeld, I really have high regard for him. His book, Busting Loose from the Money Game, changed my life forever. My friend and I, Giovanni, used to break it down over and over. It's old school and it's a little outdated, but it really helped me kind of see in another way, as did Byron Katie's book. Oh, what was the name of her book? I can't think of it now, but Byron Katie asks, is it really true? Is it really true? And then, just for heck of it, Dutch banker killed wife and daughter before suicide. You gotta look between the lines, folks. Dead doctors don't lie. Break the silence, physician suicide in the time of COVID-19. Actually, to be honest with you guys, there's been a terrible epidemic of doctors killing themselves for longer than COVID-19. You should really look into that. It's very tragic. And again, another epidemic that's never talked about. I can't imagine why that would be. Who are the geniuses and who are the evil? I happen to think there are a lot of, and I've known people like this, there are a lot of people that are special. Oh, it's the word I'm looking for. There's a word I'm looking for. Not genius. I can't think of it right now. Precocious. Well, precocious is one word. But you know those children or those adults that are absolutely precocious and they just know things. Guess what? A lot of them flunked out of school. They flunked out of elementary school. They were always told that they were lesser than, that they weren't good enough, that they weren't smart, that they should give up things. And they are some of the most intelligent people on this planet. And then here we go. The mysterious death of Stanley Meyer in his water-powered car. You see, there are evil individuals, and I'm not sure they're human, that do not want the elevation of consciousness on this planet. And what they do is they make sure these people disappear, or, as we would say, pass away, and they are suicided. Just as the man in Canada who filmed the giant in the, what was the name of the mountain? I'm trying to remember the name of the mountain. It was in British Columbia. I want to say it was Diamond Mountain, something like that. He filmed it. It was right in front of everybody's face. Got something like 42 million views on TikTok, and they took him out. The Kabbalion will tell you basically what it's the order of the world. So whether you believe in it or not, or whether you don't believe in it, it's true. So you've got the Hermetic principles, the principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. 2, the principle of correspondence. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. That's physics right there. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has the pair of opposites. Clearly I need glasses. So the principle of polarity, it's used all the time, and you just have to be aware of it, and you will see it everywhere if you have eyes to see. The principle of rhythm. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm, correspondence. And if you will really look deep, you will see that the evil 1%ers are manipulating this, trying. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. That is a deep one. That is deep. I actually tend to get the principle of correspondence and the principle of cause and effect a little mixed up. But anyways, a lot of the New Agers would call it the law of attraction, which I do subscribe to law of attraction, but I like cause and effect because it tells you straight up what it is. Whether you believe in it or not, doesn't matter. The principle of gender, and I think they're screwing with it. I do. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principle. Gender manifests on all places. That, I think, is something they're messing with right now. And then this is a book that I read in high school. I'm actually going to reread it. Gilgamesh touches on a lot of very metaphysical principles, and it actually ties back in with the Book of Enki, which, believe me, I'm no scholar when it comes to that. But I read it when I was in high school in English, and I didn't understand it then, but I'm really glad that my English teacher made us read it, and I'm going to touch back on it. Here is the formula of pi, or phi, actually phi. I learned about this one when I had my friend Giovanni. He and I used to talk about this a lot, and it's everywhere. It is everything. So it's basically a formula for life, in a sense. And it just goes on and on and on. Oops. Wouldn't you know? Okay. And then here's Fibonacci sequence. That was what I wanted to show you. Isn't that interesting that it didn't show up? So I'll go back and find another Fibonacci sequence because I wanted to go from phi to Fibonacci sequence. And then I'll come back to that. And then here's FOIL. This is a very easy way to complete an algebraic equation. You do, excuse my French, but fuck the way they do math right now. It's just insane. So you got firsts. You take the first numbers and the first variables, and you get them together. Then you take the outsides, same thing, insides, and then the last. It will help you so much, trust me. And then again, who gets to approve or equate or validate who you are, what your intelligence is? We need to throw away a lot of these systems because they're damaging. You know what my experience was in elementary school, high school, and I just have to say I got very good grades. I was always on the dean's list, always on honor roll, for whatever that is worth. Now I realize what it is. I was actually in a sorority as well, and I'm not going to say which one it was. It doesn't matter, because I didn't do all those rituals that they do. It was I was at a prestigious Catholic university. I did very well. It was kind of hard, but I got through it. And what they made us go through was just abysmal, extremely abysmal, and absolutely not worth it while they were taking our money. So what I wanted to touch on is, in my experience and a lot of people that I had known, it was all about memorization. It's all they tested us on was memorization. And to be really honest, a lot of those things that I studied, I don't remember. I suppose if I read it again, it would kind of come back to me. But how is that? That's indoctrination. And again, it doesn't even help. It doesn't help people. Unless you're learning first aid or something like that, memorization doesn't help. A bunch of hive-minded idiots is what we've become. So this I wanted to touch on again. Who determines who's intelligent, who's not? Graduation ceremony, I get it. I've been there, done that. Wasn't all it was cracked up to be. This is a Freemasonic occult ritual, and I believe the tassel's on the left before you walk the stage, and then after you walk the stage, it's on the right. Complete ritual. Throwing the hat up in the air is also a ritual. The black square stands for the cube of Saturn. You can just go research it yourself. Then my next picture didn't save again. Clearly, they don't want me showing this stuff. Okay, I'm going to go to something real quick. Okay, we're going to go to Fibonacci sequence. This is what I wanted to show you. It didn't save on my phone. My friend had recommended to me to take a compass and what is that called? I can see it just as clear as day. That you guys, protractor. Protractor. Yeah, I think it's protractor, I believe. And he said to go and learn how to complete the Fibonacci sequence, and it'll open your eyes. So actually, that's one project I'm going to be doing in the next week, and maybe you guys can learn with me. And remember, nobody else can equate or validate what your intelligence is. Nobody has that authority over you. Only you can feed your mind and grow your mind and create and grow new neurons. Feed your neurons. Feed neuroplasticity and create new neural pathways. And let old neural pathways cease to exist that are not serving you. Peace.